Hi, I'm Giselle Misodan York. In this special edition of Inside Government, Bopp students Omari Phillips and Giuliani Roberts interview Ms. Faye Arnell, coordinator of the Business Outreach and Placement Program, and two of their fellow interns. That interview ahead on Inside Government. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Inside Government. My name is Giuliani Robert, student of the Business Outreach and Placement Program. Today I am here with the Policy Officer of the Department of Youth Affairs, Ms. Faye Arnell. Welcome, Ms. Faye.
Thank you for inviting me, Ms. Robert.
First off, can you explain to us what the Business Outreach and Placement Program is about?
The Business Outreach and Placement Program is a work experience program for the youth of St. Martin. The requirements for this program would be for students who are 16 years and older and who are in pre-exam or exam class of all high schools on the Dutch side of St. Martin. And the aim of this program is to provide, like we said, necessary work experience and prepare our students to focus on their future career goals.
What are the biggest challenges you have ever faced since heading the Business Outreach and Placement Program?
I think that the biggest challenge would be recruiting companies from the private sector to enhance the job offerings in the program. That is one of the biggest challenges. But it takes effort and strategy as well, and I think that I'm getting a very good response from the private sector.
Where would you like to see the program heading in the next 5 years?
I would love to see this program become a household name and that every student on St. Martin actually looks forward to joining the Bopp program because it offers a lot of opportunities for our youth.
Nice. That's nice. That's very nice. Without other businesses, there wouldn't be a Bopp program. So what's the relationship between businesses, government, and the Bopp program?
I think that I can explain it as follows. The government sector, which would be the public sector, would be jobs provided, traineeships provided for students, primarily of an administrative nature. We also have a few departments where students can go to work at, which is not necessarily administration, like the fire department or at the ambulance or baby clinic. Sometimes they have a little different experience, but government is public sector and it is primarily administrative in nature. Now, the private sector comes in handy because not only do they provide more jobs for the students to work in, but they also give diversity in terms of the nature of work. So we would be able to provide students with placements at restaurants, at hotels, really everywhere, at the health store. We try to give them a diverse experience in the program because not each child is administratively inclined.
Yeah. I know not all students get placed where they wanted, and also you try very, very hard for them to get placed in the career field. So do you think more businesses would be involved in the program next year?
Certainly. I think that next year is going to be 20 years in the program of coordinating this program. And next year, I am really aiming to reaching the target of 120 students. And I am really going to be going out and going the extra mile to get as many companies in as possible.
Going back to the private sector companies, how much were placed in the program this year?
This year we had 30 students placed in the private sector, and that comprised of 10 companies. And in total, we had a overall placement of approximately 100 students in the Bopp.
All right. So Also, knowing that government pays for many other programs, how much did government pay for this particular program?
Well, the program has been budgeted for 75,000 guilders this year. And that is not a lot of money for what we are aiming to do and trying to give that work experience for as many students as possible. So it means that the money has to be utilized very wisely, which we do, utilize it wisely. And also it means that we rely heavily on the private sector to further enhance the program.
Seeing that this year's program is coming to an end, what is your favorite part of the process of Bopp? Like,
all parts of the process, the whole process of preparing for Bopp prior to the start, there's a lot of work that goes into it. Also, when the program has started with the training, like I really love the training aspect, the workshops that we coordinate for the students. And I love the traineeship part, but I think what is most important for me and what I love dearly is the closing ceremony, not because I get to say goodbye to the students and that the program is over, but for me, I get to see a before and after. I get to see how students come in looking for a placement in June, in May, and I get to see them leave on a much higher level and that they also have seen themselves grown over the past 4 weeks. And for me, that is my satisfaction in the program.
That's so cute. Many teenagers enjoy the business outreach and placement program, like me. Why would you encourage more students to join the program?
I would encourage all students to want to join the Bopp program because Bopp offers a lot of opportunities and more than actually meets the eye. We have a lot of students who were placed at a company or within a government department, and they have still remained in that job because of Bopp. And we're looking at 10 years further, 15 years further. So it can open a lot of doors and opportunities where employment is concerned. And the only thing I would motivate them to do is to give their best. And the rest is really up to the employer. The rest is up to them. The better they perform, the better chances they have.
Thank you for coming, Ms. Faye. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Robert.
Next, my colleague Omari Phillips will be interviewing 2 fellow Bopp students. Please stay tuned. Hi, I'm Juliani Roberts.
And I'm Omari Phillips, students of the Bopp program.
Join us for a special edition of Inside Government, where we will be speaking to Honorable Minister Silveria Jacobs.
August 18th on this channel. Welcome back to Inside Government. I'm Omari Phillips, currently in the Business Outreach Placement Program, or better known as Bopp, and I will be interviewing 2 students within Bopp pertaining to their experience and their knowledge gained in this program. Now, Ms. Manto Sosa, can you tell me why you applied for this program?
Well, in 2014, I applied for Bopp. The reason I applied for Bopp, my motive was the money, because my friend told me that she was 17 and Bopp would pay you by your age. So if you was 18 or 19, the older you are, the higher the pay. So I decided, I asked her where can I go for information. So she told me that I can look for Miss Faye at the education department. So I went and I asked Miss Faye questions concerning the Bopp, and she told me. So my motive at the beginning of Bopp was the money. That's the reason I signed up. But after I did Bopp for 2 years, and the experience was amazing. So that's the reason I signed up for Bopp. The motive at first was the money, but then after, my second year was for experience.
Okay. Where were you placed for this program, and what were your feelings at first and after?
Now I was placed at the Sinsumbe Resort and Marina. I was so excited because I worked the years before at the government departments, and I knew the field already. I knew what to expect. Mm-hmm. But working at a hotel field was something different. It was my first time. So I didn't know what to expect, who to expect. I just knew I might be working with guests and tourists. I was really excited.
What were your day-to-day operations on the work field, on the job?
My day-to-day operations was I was working at the housekeeping department, whereby I was an operator. So the operator, the field there is where a tourist would call and tell you, my glass broke or this broke, and I would call a supervisor to go to the room and check it and see how they could help the tourist or the guest.
Okay. For example, if a guest, for instance, if a towel or any property had to get damaged, how would you go about that situation?
Well, the guest would call housekeeping, or they would call front desk, and front desk would contact me. And I would see who is in charge of because it's different areas. So every area, there's one person supervising that area. And I would see who's the manager of duty or who is the supervisor of that specific room. And I would call a supervisor and tell her to please send a house lady because this room is missing a towel or a glass broke. And that's how I would go by.
And what if a client or customer perhaps was not happy with the service they got and they had a very bad breakout? Would you be the person in charge of that or someone else?
Yes, I would be the person in charge of it because I am like the messenger. So if the messenger don't do the job, I am really in trouble. So what I do often, you're not supposed to do, but what I do is when the tourists contact me or the guests contact me and to file their complaint or anything, I would contact the supervisor and I would write down everything I do, and every 5 minutes I go back and I call a supervisor, hey, did you want to check this room? And I would call a tourist, are you happy with your service? So I keep calling back and keep in contact until it is done.
Nice. What did you like most about the experience that you gained on a job?
Well, what I love the most is I have a lot of patience. And last week I had an incident whereby I sent the wrong guest to the wrong room. So a front desk called me and asked me if this room is empty and is it checked out. So I called a supervisor to make sure. And I asked her, is the room empty and checked out? But she didn't hear me correctly. So she said, yes. So I called back front desk and I told them, listen, the room is checked out. So you could send someone, the tourist, to the room. But they had people already in the room. So you had these new guests go into the room and it had people already inside of it. So they were opening the door and they're like, why is people in my room? So how I handled this situation, it was a very hard situation because you don't know who the guest is. You don't know how patient they are. And the blame is going to come back on me. So what I did is I called the supervisor of front desk and I told him, hey, I did a mistake. And he went fast to solve the problem. And everything went good. I own up to my mistakes. So I learned how to own up to my mistakes, to have patience, don't just blame. And it went real good.
Okay. What skills and traits would you say that you serve this position and the job best, outstanding of all the employees?
Can you refer your question, please?
What skills and traits would you say you serve the company or the position best out of all the employees?
What I'm being told, and I've been told lately a lot, is that I have a very good oral communication skill. Like you could notice now, I could speak for hours and not get tired. I keep the enthusiasm and everything, keep going, my level high. So my skills are the oral skills, communication skills. I have patience. I could sit with you and explain you something over and over. You have situations where a guest, they don't like to read. So the sign is right in front of them. Don't do it. And they would come to you and be like, what should I not do? And you can't just go and be like, look, the sign, read it. You have to have patience. Like you, even though you know the sign there, you just go down and you explain them and you explain how everything goes. Don't tell them, look, the sign. Maybe after you explain, they'll be like, oh, but look, a sign, I'm so dumb. But you'll be like, no, it's normal. It happens to me. Even though you know it don't happen to you. Like, it happens to me. And you just keep the conversation going until they feel calm and happy with your service.
Nice. It seems like you was prepared for this job and you came in with your utmost best.
Yeah.
And the manager was very satisfied with your performance and everything went well. Manta Sosa, thank you for coming to this interview.
Thank you for having me.
It was great having you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Juliani Roberts.
And I'm Omari Phillips, students of the Bopp program.
Join us for a special edition of Inside Government, where we will be speaking to Honorable Minister Silveria Jacobs.
August 18th on this channel.
Family law, criminal law, labor law, corporate law, immigration law, electoral law, tax law, environmental law, inheritance law. The law matters to you. A joint venture between the Department of Communication and the University of St. Martin. The lecture series, The Law Matters to You, is aimed at informing and providing the general public of St. Martin about the different laws. We invite you to visit the official government website at www.stmartingov.org for details on upcoming lectures. The law matters to you, bringing the law closer to the people.
Welcome back to Inside Government. I will now be speaking to Ms. Toulon. Now, Ms. Toulon, can you tell me why you first applied for the Bopp program?
I joined Bopp because this year I was eligible and I wanted it to be a foundation on college funding as me personally raising funds for me to go to college this year.
Okay. Where were you placed in this program?
I was placed at the library.
Do you like the library, or is it a field you would like to pursue?
Well, personally, I don't read much books, but when I got the job and I started to see more and more books of my interest, I started to like the library more.
Okay. What were your day-to-day responsibilities given to you?
Well, in our job, we have different tasks to do on our schedules. Sometimes we work at the circulation desk. Sometimes we work at the information desk, and we work in the office as well inside.
Okay. If you have a situation of a child come to read a book, right? If the child reacts in a bad behavior and there's someone to take care of that, or do you personally take care of that?
Well, it depends. If the person comes to ask a question about a certain book at the information desk, then it's my responsibility. If the person asks a question at the circulation desk, then it's the person at the circulation desk's responsibility. But if it's my responsibility, I would have to not lose my behavior. Yeah. Well, and I would have to maintain proper behavior when dealing with this child. I cannot raise my voice. I can't talk how I please. I have to behave very professional and deal with the problem professionally.
Okay. What skills or traits did you believe you served the company best?
With organization skills, I am a very organized person. I love to keep my stuff very neat and organized. So I came to this job with organization skills. And even though there were things misplaced, I would place them back in order. Or if something in the system is misplaced, I would put it back together. And that's a skill I came with.
Did you find the responsibilities given was a challenge, and can you give me a reason why?
The only task that I had that was confusing to me was the circulation desk, because first off, the rate is not the same 1.80 as we would use. Mm-hmm. The rate is 1.77. And now to convert the US into guilders and the guilders back to US, because the cash register is in guilders and the change is in dollars. So you have to convert everything to guilders and back to US. It can be very tricky sometimes, especially when the desk is full. So you really have to know how to calculate and be precise with your digits.
Okay. You mentioned the word circulation desk, right? Can you define the definition for that for the younger audience that might be watching?
The circulation desk is a desk that you will see as soon as you walk into the library. This desk is where you check in and check out books. For instance, you bring back your books and books you take home, you use this desk.
What knowledge did you gain on the work field?
Well, I learned that the library, the new books go through 5 hands. And we were one of the 5 hands inside of the office where we would label the books. And I had the opportunity of being almost all 5. I cataloged books and I labeled books. I repaired the broken books as well.
Okay. Since this program is coming to an end, can you tell me a reason if you would pursue a job in this field, or a reason why you may not?
Definitely, I would get another job in the library as well. If I go to study abroad and I need a side job, I would definitely go to a library because I'm accustomed to how the library system works. And I would go for a job that I'm more accustomed to, whereas I would go to a job that I'm not accustomed to.
So is it a job you enjoy doing or just for the experience or knowledge?
Well, in the beginning, it was mostly about the experience, but as I came along more and more, I began to love my job.
Okay. Next year, the BOP will be having their a next program. Would you encourage students to enroll into this program?
Most definitely. I've already started to ask children to sign up. You know, if they're turning 16 this year, I'm letting them know that they're finally eligible to get a Bopp job.
And what do you have to say, like your experience and knowledge in the BOP program? What would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them that you learn different things, especially if you're placed in a place that you're never been to or a place that you're not familiar with. Like me, I was placed in a library. I would always encourage them to go and find out. You will find something that you would like in the job. There can never be that you never found something you loved in the job.
Thank you, Ms. Toulon, for coming out to this interview.
Thank you for having me.
On behalf of Giuliani and I, thank you for watching this special edition of Inside Government.
The Department of Communication would like to thank Omari and Giuliani for the outstanding job they did during their 4-week internship here at DCOM. We leave you now with words from Shamina Powell Richardson, Head of the Department of Youth Affairs, coordinators of the Bopp program, as she spoke at their closing ceremonies.
I want to say that this program is a work-study program. It's called affectionately Bopp, but the official name is the Business Outreach and Placement Program. And we want to say that we commenced this year, July 10th, which is also very unusual because this, I believe, the month of July and the month of August had 5 weeks, right? Yeah, 5 weeks. So we're falling into the 4-week program, we're falling into the month of August, which is today, August 4th. And so that was 4 weeks, July 10th to August 4th. We believe that all the students during this period were exposed to a very healthy working environment. I've gotten the reports from Ms. Arnell as she visited all the different departments, divisions, the companies within the private sector, even the non-governmental organizations who actually also participate in this program. And we got a very, very, very good report. So I think I would want you to give yourselves a great round of applause for a job well done. I must say, she kept saying, our students are the bomb. That's her word. So every time she came back to the office, she kept saying, our students are the bomb. And that made me very proud. Because one of the things that we realize in society is that a lot of times we look at all the bad things that happen and we really, kind of like, I would say, make it, expound on it, and it's over and over, But I do want to encourage all of us who are seated here that the good things, let us begin to echo it into society so that everybody can say, hey, St. Martin, our young people are doing well. Not all, but I believe that most of them are. And so I want to really commend you for a job well done. I want to say that when I was growing up in your age, and that's a long time ago, don't ask me my age, but I do have age, a good age. I don't recall getting this type of opportunity. And so I think that as the years go by, we're improving as a country in order to, I would say, prepare the youths who are the future of this nation. And so I want to say that it is a wonderful opportunity and make use of it. Please, as you go back to your schools, those of you who are going back, mention it also to your peers and tell them that Bopp is coming up again in 2018. And so please participate. I'm encouraging you, some of you perhaps, and I remember one of the students, I don't know if he's here, he said I was, working with the papers and I got an allergy. So some of the things were not so nice. But they are part of the challenges that we face as we really enter into the real world, which is the workforce. And I want to say to you that don't see the challenges as a disappointment, but as a stepping stone. I think that Bopp also gives you a unique opportunity that if you've never worked before, that you will be receiving a certificate which you can show in the future to a prospective, I would say, company that would want to hire you. There are many, many students, and we're going to highlight that on the 20th anniversary, where many, many students are now working. They are heads of departments, they're supervisors in the private sector, and so forth and so forth. And so that is definitely a positive development. So please see it as a stepping stone. Make use of the opportunity. When you go back, tell your school as well, your principals, that we are working towards your development and that they should also continue to partner with us. I want to, at this point, thank, in particular, the coordinator, Faye Arnell, for a job well done. Faye loves this program with a passion. When I listen to her, I always say, boy, she's carrying this baby and she's carrying it well. So let us please give her a round of applause for a job well done. And I think also the passion that she gives and she passes on, I can see it within some of the students. And having said that, I want to also say a real thank you, because this is my personal experience with the student who was working with us, and I'm sure that the other facilitators and supervisors can say the same for their student. But since I have the mic, I want to say it for our student. And Renette Colas, we really, really appreciated you. Thank you so much. She brought so much vigor and youthfulness into the office, and I'm sure that happened in every other department and division as well, or company. We want to also say thank you to the department heads that are here. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate division heads, companies from the private sector as well.
This has been a special edition of Inside Government. Thanks for watching.